From the map, you can actually see the starting point, which is about 3,000 feet. And about halfway up the trail, if you were to point, there's a little knob. And we have made it to that little knob about 3 different times. So the rough distance is about 3 miles to that point, which is about 4,600 feet. It is just gorgeous up there.
Where are we going this day, sweetheart?
Another trek into the wilderness. He's going to get me lost one of these days. Today we're going to the Tange Verde Ridge Trail. It's 18 miles long. Of course, we're not going to do 18 miles. And we've been up here before. It's gorgeous up there.
So shall we stop once in a while and just let them know how beautiful it is?
Yeah, we hike for 2 hours. We eat and then we come back. So it's about a four and a half hour day.
Alright, well I have to be careful here of the sun, so I'll just give a slight view of some of the terrain. Well, we're somewhere up the trail, I don't know, maybe a quarter of the way up to where the ridge is, where we really start to work. But if it shows up in the final print, there's a yellow bus. And we were actually lower than that bus starting our climb. Over on the other side you see the Catalinas, and we were actually climbing a trail that's on the side of the hill, not at the top, but a week ago. And so Shirley thought, well, we're in such great shape, we'll do another high climb. Well, I'll see about it when we get to the top what she has to say. She's not talking right now, catching her breath. Okay, my love. Any guiding comments for these people that are watching this? We're up at a ridge now, probably up about, what, close to 1,000 feet. We started about 3, up close to 4. We still have saguaros, so we still got another 500 to 700 feet before we lose those entirely. And juniper. And in the background there you can see the Catalinas. And probably can't see it, but I'm shooting it to downtown Tucson, and we've got the West Tucson Mountains on that side. Now I'm just turned about maybe 50 degrees, and we're looking at the Santa Ritas, which are on the other side. And this is the south side, and the valley, and we're coming up towards Rincon Peak, which is another very large one around here. You probably will not get any view of it because we don't either until we start walking. Looks like there's a top over there, but it's not. It's just one little bump that maybe is 300, 400 feet up. And then we got more bumps on the way up. But that was what makes this so much fun. Now she's just waiting to say something. Yes, my love? Okay, now if you look, you can see the bus that we were below before, and now obviously we're a fair amount above. And again, the Tucson Valley Basin. And to think that at one time, in a long time of history ago, this actually was down to a waterbed that was probably down another 2,000 or better feet. And all this is fill from the mountains and the rivers.
Peak to peak. This is the peak that we saw in the distance, and as far as we could see. So here we are. And of course, when you look behind Rob, you see the next peak. I don't think we go over that one. I think we sort of, you can see that light gray area off to the left there. We go over that way and around, I think.
You can see that the saguaros are really prevalent down further. We're getting up to the point where they're not as prevalent. And over on the other side is Catalinas, and there's a very light line from the center of the screen going to the right, and that's a road that heads up to the top, which is about, if you go to the very top, 9,000 feet. And again, this is the valley.
That's
getting some directions from, I don't know, the producer saying that's enough. So I guess we will turn it off. Okay, Shirley, what did the chef prepare for us at the Ritz-Callahan Carlton?
We have tuna fish sandwich. We actually have been walking for 1 hour. Tuna fish sandwich, water, carrots, celery, walnuts and cranberries, and if you're really good, I have orange chocolate.
Ooh.
That's the only reason we do these walks, is so we can eat.
And there's the Catalinas to the north again. Unbelievable views. And now we're looking across the valley towards the south. This was probably more south. That's probably hazier, so harder to view. And just over those mountains, probably 15-20 miles, Mexico. Hopefully you'll be seeing more of this from further up. Shirley couldn't wait. She had to start. The waiter brought her meal. All right, Shirley, where are we now?
We're as high as we're going to go. I didn't look to see how many hours we've been walking, but you know, if I never get back to civilization, I'm lost out here in the Tange Verde Ridge Trail. Send help.
Up St. Bernard with a margarita.
Okay. 2 margaritas.
Okay, I'm gonna take in the valley. We'll see how well that turns out at the other end on the screen. My guess is we're close to 5,000 feet, but that is a guess. How long have we been climbing, hon, roughly?
I don't know. When you're done, I'll find the phone and see.
All right, Chef Shirley. Where are we now? How long did it take us to get here?
We walked 1 hour and 45 minutes. We had a 15-minute lunch break, and we're having another break now. We're actually able to see our house from up here. And hopefully when we go home and get our binoculars out, we'll be able to see where we were. I don't know.
I will be pointing in the general direction of where our house is, which I'm sure no one watching this film will be able to figure out. But it's kind of interesting. We'll also go down. There's a parking lot down below in the park, and maybe we can see this dead tree and then the big mound behind us. And again, there's the Catalinas in the background.
Better put that away now, because I'm going to eat the chocolate, and I'm going to eat your piece if you don't put it away.
Bye, everybody. And here she comes at the very last part of the trip. We've asked her for her evaluation of this trip.
You always think the downhill is going to be so much easier and faster. Well, it was faster, but the bottoms of my feet and my ankles and my knees are killing me. Whew.
How far do you think we went?
I have no idea.
Well, tell me what your fantasy is.
7 miles.
That's what my fantasy is. Would you recommend it to somebody else?
If you're in good shape.
Who'd we see on the trail just before
We saw 9 people on the trail. And I think this is probably his bicycle over here. The last guy we saw with his dreadlocks and his backpack and tent, and he's gonna spend the night somewhere up there.
7 miles
More
up.
power to him.
God
Yes.
bless him.
6.9 miles is the campsite, so he was hoping he made it by nightfall.
We're going to show you his bike. I mean, we're complaining, but we know he came from
Idaho.
Idaho. And if he came on that from Idaho, God bless him.